What's up everybody? Oh, that's my back. Hold on. That's better. What's up everybody? I'm Mear and welcome back to another episode on the Vasten 2 server. We are back here in Damport and we are at the docks area right in front of our storage system that we finished last time. And I got to say, I really love this building. It's probably the best thing I've ever built in Minecraft. But the inside of it is, it's not that glamorous. There's bits and pieces everywhere. People have come in and started working on interiors. I think this is all Raskhol, and then llorrdnnight did some floor pattern over here, and then Khaos was working on the wall. It's just a mismatch of people just coming in and finishing my job, and I'm tired of it. I'm really tired of it. So we're gonna fix this. We're gonna make it uniform. We're gonna make it beautiful. And it's gonna take quite some time, but I'm gonna probably do it all off camera because it's gonna be a lot of replacing blocks and it's not that interesting to watch. So with a magic transition it will be all finished. Let's head on inside and take a look, shall we? So let's turn around and ta-da! A quite simple design, just a granite roof, some wooden supports and some lighting. Nothing too crazy, just something simple. It's just there to keep the redstone hidden. Not because the redstone is ugly, because it's quite interesting to look at, but just because people won't be able to tamper with it and accidentally breaking. But yeah, it's just simple. It's just some wooden support, wooden pillars, and if we've got easy access to all the redstone. If we go through these trapdoors up here, we can take a look, we can check the item filters over here, we can see if everything is working on there. So a roof at this level works out at this height, in the back area as well. But one thing that has been plaguing the storage system is mobs. They would be able to spawn everywhere, but not anymore. How can you be so sure, you ask? Well, I'm glad you ask. You see, a while back, I made a resource pack that will show you where mobs can and can't spawn. It's just a light map overlay, it's nothing crazy, it's no mods or anything, it's a resource pack. And as you can see on the screen right now, if it's green it means that mobs can't spawn, but if it's red it means that mob can spawn. But of course they can't spawn on a wall. Yeah, I don't need to place any torches over there, but every single block where they should be able to spawn is completely lit up. So let's just demonstrate that for a second. If we remove some torches over here, you can see that the floor turns red, and if we place the torches back, it turns green again, meaning they can't spawn. And this resource pack is also available to you guys because it is for download on my website. There's some info on how to install it because you'll need Optifine for it. And there's also some useful settings that may help you figure out in which places you'll need to place the torches and stuff. Also, I've got Twitter and Instagram and I've got a website. I don't mention these things too often, but do check me out on there. Anyway, let's move on to the next part of the video. And this part is gonna be a little bit different than usual because I'll be building, you'll see that on the screen about now, but I'm doing this voiceover afterwards, and that will be explained in a couple of minutes. Well, first, just cause what I'm actually doing right now, we're gonna add some greenery around the storage building. With the storage building itself finished off, I wanna focus my attention to the area around it, because that's an area that people don't really have given much attention to, which is why it is so blank and grey looking. So our first order of business is adding a little bit of a patch of green. We'll add a big tree, and then in a future episode we'll give it some friends, give it some more detail, add some market stalls, add another building perhaps, I don't know. But let's talk about why I'm doing this voiceover. First of all, I want to show you guys some real-time building and seeing me actually place the blocks at the real speed that I do it on and not in a time lapse. And I can't really focus at building and talking to you guys at the same time. It's kind of a problem on my side, but oh well, we'll just have to deal with it. Also, you might have noticed by now that there is actually no game sound. Funny story, I listen to music while I build. And I forgot that OBS picks that up as well, together with the game sound. So there's some copyrighted music playing whilst I'm building, and I'm probably singing along as well, which would be even more embarrassing, especially if you knew what songs it were. So I'm just gonna leave it dampened. It's Disney songs. Anyway, this gives me a nice opportunity to talk to you guys about stuff going on the channel and stuff going on in my life. So let's get down to it. First of all, I just want to say it again, the channel reached 100 subscribers, which absolutely blows my mind. That means 100 people found my videos entertaining enough to be subscribed. 100 people, you can fill a room with that. That's amazing. So, I'm gonna say it here again as well. Just thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. You make this experience a lot more enjoyable. And okay, I've said thank you enough by now, I think. I've said it on Twitter, I've said it in my last video. It's fine. Okay, let's move on. Next subject. With that said, you might also have noticed that videos on my channel, especially these Vasten videos, are getting quite shorter and is getting a lot less stuff done in them. And that is because of some personal stuff happening in my life. I am a university student, college student, I don't know how it works in English and what's the right term for it. I'm just studying at university. I'm in my last year, which means I've got to write a master thesis, and this is a huge undertaking. I only have like classes half of the semester, and the other half is, well, you need to spend it on your thesis or you're not gonna get it done. So I've been working on that a whole bunch, and that means I've got to have meetings with people, I've got to write stuff, I've got to make stuff. So that takes a lot of my free time away from being at my computer and playing video games, because school is still a little bit more important to me than playing video games. I don't think that surprises anybody, but yeah. That is what's going on in the background, and why my YouTube videos are getting a little bit less and less, well, just gonna be a lot less happening in them. And that will continue at least until another month or so, and then I've got exams, so do expect like this same sort of quality of videos for a couple of more months. I'm hoping to get it back up afterwards, but you never know, all weird stuff can happen. But of course, you also need to take some breaks in between studying and writing theses. So I've been watching some of my favorite childhood movies again. And I've got to say, they're still as amazing to watch as an adult as they were to watch as a kid. Of course, there's part of it nostalgia, but the story in most of those kid movies are quite great and quite awesome. I'm not gonna go in detail about why I thought the movies were great and such, but I want to give you a list of movies that you really need to watch. And I don't know if you'll feel the same about them as I do, because of course there's part of nostalgia involved, but it's worth a try, isn't it? And there's quite some obscure movies, and let's start with some popular ones. First of all, I watched some Disney movies. Let's start with the oldest one I watched. I watched Mulan again for the first time in 17 years, which was amazing. Then I moved on to some more recent ones. I watched Moana again, watched Frozen 2 for the first time, which is quite a good movie in itself. Again, I'm not gonna go in detail, I've got my thoughts about it. I'm not gonna share them though. Then I moved on. Do I have any other movies Disney related that I watched? Oh yeah, I watched Tangle as well. I think those were all the Disney movies I watched. Yeah, I think that was it. Then I also, there's this series that I used to watch as a kid, these movie series. It's quite obscure, it's known in Belgium. It's called Arthur and the Minimoys. And they have 3 movies. The first one is absolutely amazing. Second and the third, a bit worse, but definitely watch the first one. That's an amazing movie. Then let's move on. What other movies do we have here? What did I watch as well? Oh, Yeah, okay, yeah. How can I almost forgot my favorite movie of all time? So that's on me. So that said, my favorite movie of all time is definitely How to Train Your Dragon, the first one. I'm not talking about the second and the third. I'll come to that in later. I'm gonna go a little bit more in detail about this one because it is actually my favorite movie of all time. I'm absolutely not sarcastic on that. That's absolutely the best movie I've ever watched. And that is because the whole story about meeting a dragon and trying to train it while a whole village is fighting them is so absurd and so good. And trying to change those people around, it's amazing. And the whole training sequence of him Hiccup discovering all these little tiny things about how to manipulate dragons in a way. Well, it's more training them, of course, but in a way that's peaceful, that's not hurting the dragon. It's amazing and it's same. And then, of course, the beautiful friendship that builds up between a dragon and a Viking. It absolutely blows my mind. It's beautiful. So let's move on to the sequel and the third one. The sequel and the third one, not as good. They're not terrible. They're quite decent, actually. They're quite good movies. But it's not the same as the first one for me. I think they've expanded the world a bit too much for me. I would have preferred if they stuck to just it being Berg and maybe a few new characters joined in, but not a whole bigger world. Like they had a whole new section of the world with new dragons, and then the concept of an alpha it made stuff way too complicated. And if it just stuck to the core, like they did, they've made like a beautiful series about it that I also watched as a kid, which was quite good. I don't really remember any of the episodes in particular, but I really enjoyed it. And they didn't have anything complicated going on there, just them training dragons, which was kind of cool, and just them getting into all sorts of messes. But then expanding on the movies, like expanding the world, it's quite a natural thing to do, but it didn't work as well in the movies for me as it did. And then, of course, the third one, it's absolutely it's a good movie, but it's absolutely bonkers to add a whole world of dragons to a world that you've already developed in 2 movies and a few series. It's unbelievable. And then also the ending is quite heartbreaking. Hiccup and Toothless splitting up, parting ways. It breaks my heart. It absolutely breaks it. I almost cried when watching it. I'm not proud to say that. That it's, of course you got the glimpse of hope at the end where they meet each other again, but it's not the same. Anyway, that's probably enough about me rambling of movies. That's just probably enough of me talking in general, I would say. But I want to share one last thought with you, and that is why I'm actually including this segment, why I'm talking over it, why I'm doing it this way. And that has 2 reasons. First of all, I want to set you to a discussion. I want to ask you to tell me what your favorite movies were as a kid, what you thought of mine, and if you think I'm just a douche for almost crying at the end of a kid's movie. But anyway, the second reason, and this is probably more of an interesting reason, I do want to get into streaming. I can't do it with the setup I have now. I can't do it with the school year being as it is right now, which is why I talked about that. But from next school year, I might have some options to start streaming, and I want to see your thoughts on that. So that's why I also try to share a little bit more of my life into my videos. I'm gonna try and do that from now on a little bit more, just so you get to know me personally a bit better, see what makes me up, how I think and stuff like that, which also will give you a better understanding from how I will do streaming in the future. And then you can tell me if I should start streaming or if I should just stick to YouTube videos. I was gonna say one more thing, but I've forgotten what it was. Hang on a minute. Oh, I remember again. It is not a really important thing to talk about, but Domport TV is a segment that I used to do like regularly in videos, but with my schedule as it is right now, and with other people's schedules, most of them live at the other side of the world, we only got a few hours of overlap that we were awake together. It's quite hard to schedule something, to collaborate together, to meet each other on the server, which is why I'm not removing it, don't worry about it, but it won't be every episode that we do it. I only do it if I get the time to do it, if we get if I get somebody who's available, and if it happens to be interesting. I'm sure it will be interesting if I just invite anybody over, because they're all so interesting people and you should check them out. They're all linked in the description, by the way. But anyway, I think this tree is coming to an end. There's just a few more details to add, but I think it's fine if you just jump to the end result right now. I don't think you'll miss a lot. And there it is, the magnificent tree that we just built a second ago. It looks a bit lonely over here, it needs some friends, but that will be for another episode, because we're gonna leave it here. If you liked this video, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and all good stuff. I'm getting closer to those guys in the backgrounds. What are they doing? They're just looking at each other with a crossbow. Okay, let's just ignore that and stare at this beautiful monstrosity. This guy needs some friends, but that's for another time. If you like this video, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys, bye.